Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to MSTC Limited's Q1 FY24 earnings conference call hosted by Equirus Securities. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Ansh Manek from Equirus Securities Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Karen. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Equirus Securities, I welcome you all to the Q1 FY24 earnings conference call of MSTC Limited. From the management, we have with us today Ms. Bhanu Kumar, Director of Commercial, Mr. Subrata Sarkar, Director of Finance, and Mr. Ajay Kumar Rai, the Company Secretary. We will begin the call with the opening remarks from the management, and then we can open the line for question and answer. I now hand over call to Ms. Bhanu Kumar. Over to you, madam.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon to all of you, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk about our Q1 results for 23-24. And the key highlights of the performance during Q1 is the revenue from operations is about 193.64 billion INR. In terms of value of goods transacted through e-commerce and marketing. Marketing is, of course, a very, very minuscule percentage of this. This is on a standalone basis. And as far as consolidated basis, the revenue is 199.76 crores. This, if we compare with the Q1 of last year, 22-23, then there's an increase of 2.53%. And similarly, PBT of Q1 is 80.56 crores in comparison to 80.54 crores during Q1 of 22-23. Now, the highlight here is that last year during Q1, there was an abnormal increase in the rates of iron ore and the scrap assets, which had fallen during the year. And now it is more on a steady platform. In fact, the iron ore prices have fallen by almost about 20% or so during the year. So in spite of it, we are able to retain almost the same level of PBT. So that is quite an achievement for us. Now, regarding the other highlights, we have successfully hosted the UDAN Scheme version 5.0, fifth tranche of the the initiative by the Ministry of Civil Aviation for connecting all the underserved airports. So that has been very successful. And MSTC has been awarded the most efficient and profitable Mini Ratna of the year in the non-manufacturing PSU 2022 Dalal Street Investment Journal. And we have also done a lot of major mineral blocks, coal block auctions and major mineral blocks in the Q1. So major mineral blocks, we have successfully sold about 27 of them. And many major mineral blocks are in the pipeline as on date. Coal block also successfully sold 6, and many more. The repeat auctions are also being conducted now, and it will be done during the year. Now, as far as the financials are concerned, I'll hand over the mic to Mr. Subrata Sarkar. He will talk in detail about it.
Yeah, as you have heard from our Director Commercial, it was almost a startup trajectory. Basically, in spite of reduction in the prices, with the higher volumes, we were able to manage that trajectory. So, standalone basis, it is total revenue has grown from 93.86 to 100.63, a growth of 7.22%. And EBITDA has grown from 67.676 to 72.27. PBT has grown from 66.1 to 70.56. And profit after tax is almost on the same level. It's like from 43.85 crore to 44.57 crore. Accordingly, EPS has got a meaningful growth of 6.23 to 6.33. And so far, consolidated highlights are concerned. So The total revenue has grown from 194.82 to 199.76. EBITDA has almost remaining the same from 86.85 to 86.02. And profit before tax almost remaining the same on consolidated basis from 80.54 to 80.56. And PAT is down a little bit from 54.29 to 50.61. And accordingly, EPS on consolidated basis is from 7.71 to 7.19. And the cash profit is also a little bit down from 60.52 to 56.08. So it is all about from our side. So handing over to you for QA session.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star then 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Before we take the first question, I'd like to remind all participants to please limit your question to 2 per participants only. You may rejoin the question queue if you have a follow-up. We start with the first question from the line of Yash Dantewadia from Dante Equity Research. Please go ahead.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, you are.
Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. So my first question is, could you give us the revenue mix for the e-auction in terms of product breakup? For example, coal or mineral for FY21, FY22, FY23, all the 3 financial years?
Product mix, especially of e-auction, e-sale you want, right?
Yeah, whether it's coal or whether it's iron ore or whatever sector it is. But I want the product mix for all 3 years.
Right now I don't have it, but one thing I can confirm is from the scrap sale, it is about 52% of the total revenue. I don't have that breakup immediately.
Could you give me the breakup offline, possible later?
Yeah, you can send a mail. We will definitely address that.
Yeah, okay. So what is your Coal India revenue percentage? What percentage of the revenue comes from Coal India?
It's not a percentage basis. It is on event basis. So if they
no, I mean for FY23, for example, what was the total revenue that you got from Coal India?
See, I can't give you the exact numbers, but
okay.
Coal as such, the number of events is going down because the policy has changed to some extent. Now it is not mine specific or colliery specific. So because of that, the number of events that we used to carry in the past few years and what has happened now is definitely on the downward trend. So the revenue is coming up. The exact numbers and all I won't be able to give you.
So basically you're telling me that the number of blocks of e-auction mines that are going to come on MSTC for auction is going to keep going down?
No, you are actually confusing between issues. For Coal India, we are selling their mined coal, right? For the blocks that are being mined by their subsidiaries. Coal block auctions we are conducting for Ministry of Coal. There is a nominated authority who is conducting these coal block auctions. So there again, whenever there is a successful auction of a particular block, then we get on the basis of that per event. So that obviously it depends on the market conditions whether a particular block will actually be sold or not. Now, as far as Coal India is concerned, we are selling their coal through various schemes, through some linkage schemes and through normal, spot auctions, forward auctions and all. So that is again on event basis. Now, because of the change in policy, because earlier they were doing these spot auctions on certain criteria. Now that there is a change in policy, because of which there is an aggregation of coal in any one particular event, and the number of events that we carry out in a month has decreased. Earlier we were carrying out about 6 to 7 events in a month. Now it has come down to about 4. But that again is seasonal. because depending on the supply demand conditions for the country and especially the power sector, the coal under the linkage scheme can be increased or decreased, and the rest, whatever is not sold through linkage, that only comes to spot auction. So there are a lot of factors. You cannot actually simply say that whether it is going up or coming down. These are things that cannot be predicted at all.
The reason I'm asking you this question is, in a recent statement, Coal India said that the e-auction is going to go up. That's what Coal India gave in their guidance. That is why I asked this question, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, what they mean is the quantum of coal that will be sold through auction is going up, but that doesn't mean there will be increase in the number of events. We charge on the basis of the event. Suppose I'm selling only about 1,000 tons in one particular event. Suppose they want to sell 3,000 events, my charges are the same. Okay.
Okay, it's a fixed charge. Okay.
It doesn't actually affect my earnings.
Okay. Now, although it is coming down, but could you please quantify as the e-auction volume would be largely constant on your platform, or if the prices change or if the prices don't change? For example, if coal prices change or if coal prices don't change, does that affect you or affect the amount you charge on that particular event?
It does to some extent, but we are not so much dependent on only the coal auction. So that is probably just a very small percentage of our total earnings.
Okay. Ma'am, last question before I come back in the queue. Would you be able to give any guidance as to how this is going to pan out? Because basically now Coal India does all their auctions through you, right? Exclusively through MSTC, or they use other platforms also?
No, not really. They have two service providers, and in fact, we are not getting majority of the auctions. The other service provider is getting about 60% of the auctions. So that has been the case with the past 4-5 years. So that has.
The other service provider is a private or a PSU?
Yeah, it is a private party.
So basically, all the government companies are not obliged to go through MSTC, right?
No, there is no such mandate that government companies have to come to MSTC for all their requirements of e-commerce. Based on our credentials, we market ourselves, we go and tell them that these are the features and facilities that we have, and these are the governing agencies who constantly monitor all the activities. Because of that, they are a little more comfortable with MSTC. It's not that people are bound to give their business only to MSTC. It's not like that.
I understood, ma'am. I'll come back into the queue, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, I'd like to remind participants again to please limit your question to 2 per participants only. You may rejoin the queue for your follow-up. The next question is from the line of Prakash Pua, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody.
Yes.
I want to make certain general suggestions because we are we're new to a government company, the setup and the organization, which is 2,000 kilometers away from Bombay. One small, very special request to you, all the board of directors, chairman and directors visiting, is that you make an investor presentation 1 or 2 days before the Concall, not half an hour before the Concall. It is most inefficient and unprofessional to give the information just half an hour before the Concall. And the attention, the respect, and the guidance given by the company secretary, Mr. Ajay Rai, is very pathetic and poor. He cannot reply with arrogance with all the shareholders. See, I am a senior citizen, and we have dealt with very great people like P.C. Alexander and great people. See, so you should not consider yourself above law. This is in general I am talking to you. And provide the address of every director on the board so that we can ask them the questions on email. We don't want anything special. But and secondly, we are very sorry for the lackluster performance of the company, flat performance of the company for the last quarter. Very bad it is. Secondly, can we know how many centers we are going to open, scrapping centers all over the country and the region-wise, or east, west, north, south, or the state-wise? This is very important for the information of the shareholders. In the next 3 months or in the next 6 months,
and what is the cost of opening every center. This is very important. We do not have the basic information which is not available at the branch level also. So this is my question. Secondly, how many vehicles are going to be scrapped in the next 3 months or 6 months? You may not have statistics, but can you give some idea so that we don't get a lackluster performance to come? Secondly, our subsidiary company sale, you always say that FSNL, that things are under discussion, things are under progress. Every report says that, a quarterly report makes a statement like that. But what exactly is the status now? Is the sale already up now? Because the process is going on for the last more than 1 year. So we would like to know, is there likely to be a special dividend to the shareholders from the company after sale of the subsidiary company is over? And secondly, I would request every director to provide their email address so that we can address our queries to them personally. And thank you. Sorry.
Okay. First, let me assure you that whatever information is to be given is generally provided by the board of directors. It is not that we don't want to reply. And anyway, however, your suggestion that you want the presentation to be given well in advance, that is well taken, and we'll see to it that this is done for future. Regarding the email address and the contact details, sir, these things are very much available in public domain in our company website. So you can reach us anytime over phone, over email, and we always answer each and every phone call, and each and every email is replied. So that definitely for future, I'm sure that if specific queries you can address there. Now, as far as regarding the FSNL case is concerned, you also may be aware, sir, that we may be holding the shares, but all the decisions are taken at the highest level by the Government of India, and most of those decisions, even we are not privy to such decisions, and we are not even present in those meetings. So obviously, we are not in a position to reply to investor queries on this. And as far as the other centers are concerned, I would request my colleague director to reply on the MMRPL centers. Right? One.
Good afternoon, sir. It is in the last Concall also and earlier Concall also, it is very difficult to tell how much it is being there, because different locations, at different locations and at different places, the costs remains fluctuating. Somewhere we can have a lesser cost, somewhere we have a bigger cost, more cost. Further, we decide upon the number of vehicles, what are the equipment has to be installed at that particular scrapping center. Now it is known as RVSF, Registered Vehicle Scrapping Facility. So depending upon the regulations and all these things to get a certificate and all these things to comply with the regulations, that equipment are kept there. So it keeps on increasing or decreasing our cost as such. So far, there are two types of things. One, at our scrapping facility, and there you must be knowing that government vehicle scrapping has already been mandated, and it is being done through MSTC portal. So right now, it is as per our estimate, around 4,000 plus vehicles are coming up in the forthcoming auction to be sold, and total vehicle since March has been sold is 8586 to the Registered Vehicle Scrapping Facility, RVSF. So that is the figures of the government vehicle that has been scrapped, and yet to be scrapped, I have given around 4,000 plus. It will be around, it is there, and it will be auctioned. So I hope I was able to satisfy your question, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Harshit Jain from REH Investment. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the opportunity. Firstly, I would like to know, as per Mr. Nitin Gadkari, statement came that there are total 31 centers which are currently opened, and current capacity is 930,000 cars. So, as per the comment given by Mr. Subrata Sarkar, we only auctioned 5,000 vehicles, and almost 4,000 to 5,000 vehicles are under pipeline. So, is this the scrappage working on just 5 to 6% capacity utilization?
Actually, what we are talking about here, the figures that we have given is based on the government vehicles only. See, MSTC has been mandated to sell all the government vehicles. So the figures that we are giving is what is there, what has already been projected to us for sale. Now, such vehicles are just about 15 to 20,000 within this current financial year. It's not going to be anything more than that. What the minister, honorable minister, has talked about is the capacity of all the RVSs put together. Obviously, for that, there has to be a lot of feeder stock from the private industry as well as individuals. For individuals, we have already launched a portal and we are conducting a lot of awareness campaigns and advertisements for individuals to approach and give their vehicle for scrapping. The issue that, the issues that are faced by RVSFs are in respect of ATS centers not being there. A complete ecosystem is not available. It is not just about setting up the RVSF. You also need to have the automatic testing stations, and you also need to have, especially for the government vehicles, there has to be a budget approval for replacing the vehicles for scrapping by new vehicles. Now there is a mandate for going for electric vehicles. That kind of supply chain is again not available in the country. So it is not just about, demand and supply. It is also creating the entire ecosystem. So those things are still at quite a nascent stage. And unless we achieve some more, some better facilities, this thing is going to take some time. I hope I was able to clarify your query.
To our portal, are the private vehicles also coming on our portal where we are earning 3% per vehicle?
For private vehicles, we are not earning on those charges. We are just, charging on some listing facility. It is more like almost a free service for the individuals of the country. Now, if it is going to be some institutional seller, yes, there we will be getting some charges. But as far as individuals are concerned, you and I, we can just go and there will hardly be any charges for that.
Okay, thank you so much. And my other question would be a very humble request from my end, just like the previous participant and all other PSUs, just like MassDoc, SJVN, Bharat Electronics, and number of PSUs have been sharing their updates regularly with their investors, stakeholders on a regular continuous basis. But as in our case, you guys are not being investor friendly, not sharing any update. I have already given suggestions in 2-3 conference call that can you please share monthly updates that what actually you guys are doing. Even we are working in a duopoly business where just MSTC and M Junction are the sole platforms which are auctioning everything in India. But still you are not able to leverage our company. So may I know that what actually is hampering this and what actually is preventing you from sharing updates to investors as a whole?
I mean, which type of updates you are looking for? If you can guide us so we can consider or we can think if it is as per again. So
yeah, because just now, like if you search Google, you will come to know that Hyderabad authority sold somewhere around 7,000 crore worth of plots through our portal. But you guys are what actually you're doing. Spectrum auction you did it, and n number of auctions you are doing auctions for Unitech Group as well, more than 500 crore property. But you have been not being sharing any kind of update. I even requested Mr. Surendra Kumar Gupta to 2 conference call back that you can please share updates on a monthly basis.
Let us have our response, sir.
Sir, we can understand your concern, but you please try to understand these are the normal course of business. So for any normal of business, for day-to-day operation, we are doing the auction, we are doing everything. So do whatever you are mentioning, these things are normal for our operation. We cannot update each and every auction on the investor portal or to the stock exchange.
Is that my only concern is that we are a good e-commerce company. We are almost a monopoly business, but we are not able to leverage our company. Nobody knows about our company, what MSTC is doing, what MSTC does. We are basically a scrap company as per investors. And secondly, whenever you deliver quarterly results, you show other income 18 crores, you show e-commerce 84 crores. When you go down, when you go to central revenue, their e-commerce is mentioned 94 crores. So why there is a mismatch?
Which one? Just tell me where is there a mismatch. You tell me.
You can check this quarter currently results, and in current results, in the standalone basis, you have mentioned 82.33 is your revenue from operations, and other income is 18.29. But when you go to segmental revenue, there you have mentioned from e-commerce you have won 94.05 crores, and from marketing you have won 6.4. So we have been earning 94 crores through our operations, and you are showing 18 point something crore from other income. Why there's a mismatch?
Yeah, look, when we go for segmental reporting, you see that it is for the total income. Here there is a breakup, revenue from operation and other income when you report for our quarterly result. So there will be a mismatch. There will be always a mismatch because here the breakup of total income is given. Here the breakup of only revenue from operation and other income is given. There will be a mismatch. So it is nothing to hide or nothing to hide from the investor. No,
but I think this can be done in a more efficient and transparent manner so that investor community as a whole can understand your results, because right now nobody is able to understand results because everybody think e-commerce business is showing degrowth. But on the other hand, if you check segmental revenue, we have grown 12% from last year.
Okay, your suggestion well noted. If it is feasible as per our disclosure norms, obviously we will look into it, the suggestion.
And secondly, I just want to know that why are we paying 37% tax rates? Because if we are paying more tax rates, next quarter you will again show an entry so that you can adjust the same taxes again. So what exactly is happening? Because I am not able to see, I have been invested in your company since past 3-4 years, but this is a certain lackluster performance and no commitment given by your end, by management, by board of directors. Investors are just sitting idle. They don't know anything about your company, whether you can check the books, whether you can check entries. Nothing comes up.
Type of commitment.
And secondly, your answers are very vague. I am not able to get any clarity. Even I asked you previous quarter, you were not able to provide me satisfactory response.
Just a minute. What type of commitment you want from us? Please tell me.
Sorry?
You asked about the commitment from the management. Okay.
Right.
So this type of commitment you want from us so that you will be confident.
Yes, be more transparent. You need to show your books clean, because right now our books are not clean. Every quarter or there you show some entry. Every quarter you pay some quarter you pay 9% tax, some quarter you pay 37% tax.
Just a minute. To be very frank and precise with you, whenever there is a write-off is there, then there is a tax rate goes down, and write-offs are based on certain parameters. Every quarter we cannot make write-off. Every date cannot be written off until unless each and every hope is gone down. We have made provision for all the bad receivables that we had. We have cleaned up our books. Everywhere it is done. Now it is the point when we write off and when we not write off. Write-off has got certain norms. Until unless we expect and hope that everything has gone out of this particular data, we cannot write it off from the books of account. We will also appreciate like an analyst. So that's the point. So whenever the write-off occurs, we get a tax benefit. So if you feel more clarification, you can go for mails and we reply on the mails also. Detailed reply has also been done through mail, because 1 hour is I feel a little time to just satisfy the investor query.
Mr. Jain, I'm sorry to interrupt, but may I please request you to rejoin the queue for
Mr. Jain, I'd like to comment on the previous queries also, that he has raised certain query that information is not being provided to him. I will request all the investors to understand that when the trading window is closed, we, the company secretary, cannot entertain the investor or any shareholder or provide all the information. When the board meeting is going on and when the notice is provided that the board meeting is scheduled to be held at 2 p.m., if any shareholder will call me at 3:30 p.m. and ask me why not the account has been uploaded, please try to understand we cannot answer that query. We cannot able to receive that query. Similarly, if that investor meet has been postponed, so there must be some emergency, there must be something. We are all human beings. We are all running through a lot of problems. So every time for every small thing, why the investor presentation has not been uploaded, why it has been postponed, when you are going to upload, when your board meeting is going to be finished off, this question cannot be answered. So investor and shareholder also has to understand this small thing.
Thank you. Mr. Jain, I would request you to rejoin the queue for your follow-up. The next question is from the line of Srinivas Reddy, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Mr. Reddy.
Yeah. Regarding the suggestion by the earlier person, I think it is better for instead of the company management answering on individual basis, you can in your website, investors relations, put all these questions and then answer so that every one of us will be on the same page instead of trying to repeat the same answer for the different investors from the company management perspective. So all the previous, whatever the questions or emails you will be receiving from the investors, if you can answer them in a transparent way for the benefit of all the investors, then it will be good for the company, brand building, for the valuation as an e-commerce company for the company. Because as the earlier spokesman has clearly stated, I have been asking this from past 10 years as a shareholder. So before the listing has happened also, I have been a shareholder of your company. So the problem with is you are still working with the mindset of as if it is a scrap company itself. And the market is also giving you the valuations of a scrap business only with less than 10 PE or around 10 price earning multiple only. But other e-commerce companies are getting 40, 50 price earning multiples. So the perception change is required, sir. I hope that you will be considering this. And the accounts from the past 10 years I have never understood, because every time there will be some contingency planning or some provisions and next year some adjustments and all those things. So you better look into it, get a consultant and try to provide the accounts as of other PSUs are providing, not the legacy system. So it will be transparent and beneficial for all the shareholders in the future. As far as the second question, my second question goes, sir. Regarding this disinvestment, FSNL, you already spoke about that you are not in control of anything, but at least you should be able to tell from your end whatever the previous surveys which the people have come and then checked it is completed or not yet completed. Because there were some earlier reports that some employees were not willing to allow them into the plants for doing the due diligence part. So secretly or whatever it is, hiding the date and you are trying to do it. That was the news flow. So you can tell at least is it that completed or not? I mean, the due diligence process, visiting the local FSNL plants and all the due diligence by the buyers. And this consolidated numbers, your degrowth is clearly visible. So we want to know the reason and the future line for the scrap business growth also. If you can give it, it will help us a lot to stay as an investor in your company. Thank you.
Mr. Reddy, thank you for your very valuable suggestion regarding investor relations portal. Definitely we will work on that, and your suggestion is very well taken. We'll definitely work on it, and all your queries will be replied there so that all investors can go through that, and the queries are there in the public domain. Now, regarding FSNL status, Subhato, you want to say something?
Yeah. So, Mr. Reddy, you asked about that process is still on and it is being followed up by DPAM, Department of Investment and Public Asset Management. So, that process is yet to get completed, but it is on the process only. Various steps are being taken and it is in the various dates. So, it is still going on. For regular update, you can visit the DPAM website, where in a public domain it is totally visible in what stage it is. If you click FSNL status, it is there. It is regularly updated. So last some was called from the prospective bidder. It is already there in the PA. That is being analyzed.
Sir, from the past, sorry to interrupt you, sir. From the past 3 years, we have been I have been asking the same FSNL news is going on, but see, the problem is I am visiting that sites, investors are visiting, but the due diligence process is being taken into almost like 2 years now for the plant due diligence. So I just wanted to know, is the due diligence completed or still it is pending from the prospective buyers?
Process is still going on, yet to get completed. Whenever there will be a second stage of asking for bid will open, we will certainly it will come into the website and we will it will be in the public domain only, sir. That much we can assure you, sir. But still it is going on, sir.
Okay. So I request you, sir, regarding this accounts, so from you at least change the
question about the consolidated group numbers, no? Can you please repeat the question? What was the group question?
Your consolidated numbers of profits are showing a degrowth, and EPS is also showing a degrowth. Standalone is okay. I mean, you got almost same.
So sir, there are two things. Standalone the consolidated provides for our performance of our 100% subsidiary, Zero Scrap Nigam Limited, and of course, what you can see, there is a one line item that is visible. That is a major cause of you see that degrowth, like 21.99 lakh share of profit and loss of joint venture. So this quarter there was a loss from the joint venture to the tune of 1.22 crore. This is basically because of some centers has taken but yet to fly off and generate enough revenue to have the thing. That's the one cause, and FSNL performance is also it is also on a fatter trajectory. So both the factors have made to have little bit of degrowth in the consolidated numbers.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, I'd like to remind participants to please limit your question to 2 per participants only. The next question is from the line of Mustafa Ari from NRC. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. So I would like to know that on the marketing business, what would be the revenue on a steady state, and also how do we see the cost of goods line item in the BG model? Does that go to zero?
See, as far as the marketing business is concerned, you all are probably aware that we had 3 models earlier and we have discontinued 2 of them. Just the BG batch model is available. But there also it hasn't taken much traction because most of our clients are finding it difficult to provide the BG because of stricter norms and limits by the bank. A lot of due diligence is being done by the bank. So this is more or less stable, and we don't envisage that this is going to grow in the future. So the revenues are going to be flat. Whatever it was in the last couple of quarters, it's going to be more or less the same. But as far as e-commerce is concerned, definitely it is on the growth trajectory, and especially since the iron market has stabilized now and it is expected to slightly go up. We expect that our revenues will also be going up, and we are in talks with various government departments for further more projects, and in the coming next quarter there will be some update as soon as we finalize some contracts or something. As far as our recycling is concerned, our JV company is expanding its operations, so obviously in the initial stages there will be a loss because each center, as soon as it is set up, is not going to make profits, right? So definitely this may be there for some more time, but we are on the right path to expand its operations so that all the raw material that is available is converted to scrap and is given as a feeder to the industry for secondary steel manufacturing.
Okay, and another question is, so what is the current status of the Standard Chartered litigation? A few days earlier you had provided an update.
Yeah.
Let me explain you that of course you have seen the update that DRAT in that 222.51 crore demand matter has given that we have made an appeal to DRAT, and DRAT has set aside the order of PRT in our favor. So that's now, so we are in that favorable position. Accordingly, by its oral order also, that DRAT has ordered for the refund of 90 crores, and the recovery proceedings by a oral order has already been, we are waiting for the written orders for both the things. That recovery proceedings have also been dropped from, that proceedings has been dropped. So we are waiting for both the written orders, like refund order and all these things. We are waiting for that. As soon as we get the refund, we will update you. But the news is good, like we have won at BR80. So.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, I'd like to remind each and every participant to please limit your question to 2 per participant only. The next question is from the line of Chirag Singhal from First Water Fund. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking my question. Just 2 questions from my end. First, how much of the revenue comes from a state business with, minimum volatility, where you're not dependent on any one-off event such as auction of any mining blocks or so? Just trying to understand the consistent stream of revenues in the e-commerce segment.
Is that all? See, as far as the revenue in e-commerce sector is concerned, about 50% comes from scrap, which is more or less stable, and it has been the case for the past many years. Regarding other products, the prime products, which we call mineral sale or, some waste raw materials and all and properties, there it is on a growth trajectory, and we don't see any threat as of now. As far as that business is concerned, that comprises of about 20 to 25% of our revenue. The rest is what is, one-off kind of a case, but there again, say mineral block or coal block. Now, a lot of blocks are, given to us for auction, but everything doesn't get sold at the same time. So this is a very long process, and if you have seen, every year we are earning some revenue from the block sale itself. So this is going to be there for at least a couple of years more. Apart from that, we are giving some value-added services to our client, especially in the minor mineral blocks, like integration with their state portals and all. So with that kind of comfort and that kind of transparency and ease of doing business, since we are able to give, because of that, the clients are more or less happy with our services, and we don't envisage that they will go away from us for at least a couple of few more years.
Got it. So 25% of the overall e-commerce segment that came from the auction of the blocks is what you are saying. And the rest is more or less kind of constant, the balance 75%, which is again growing.
25% includes actually the blocks, the minerals that are mined, then the forest agro produce that we sell, then some waste material like fly ash, which actually goes as a raw material for the cement industry. All that put together is about 20 to 25%.
So could you please share only how much of it?
Event or customized models that we prepare for government or the private sector. So the rest of 25% is what is on a case-to-case basis, and that also is not under very severe threat as of now.
So is it possible to share only for the auction of the blocks, how much came from auctioning of the blocks?
That will be very difficult to say, because every time we put up, say, around the last time we had put up about 90 coal blocks for auction, and eventually only 6 were sold. Now, when it is sold and finally when we get the result in that quarter, we reported as 6 blocks. And previous last year we were able to sell about 20 blocks. So I'm not really sure. And per block I get some revenue. So I cannot foresee as to how many blocks will be sold in a particular year. So it's very difficult to predict.
Understood. Okay. My next question is on the.
Request you to rejoin the
Ma'am, there was just one question. If you can please let me ask the second question.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my second question is on the growth guidance for this particular segment. So based on the visibility of events and the inclusion of the new categories and products that you've been doing on your portal, what kind of growth do we see for this particular segment for this fiscal as well as next fiscal?
See, as I said, last year was very good in terms of the prices, because we have revenue is actually a mixed kind of a model that we have. We have on event basis as well as on percentage basis. So when it is on percentage basis, when the market goes up, obviously our revenue goes up. But if it is on event basis, it has a very flat trajectory. Since it is a composite mix of both these models, I would say it will not be an exponential growth, but there will be growth.
So can we take a range of 10 to 15%, assuming that the current commodity prices stay as they are for the rest of the year as well as next year? 10 to 15% growth is something.
Based on past performance, definitely you can take that figure, but then the market conditions will always not remain the same. So if something unfortunate happens, if there's a sudden drop in some kind of the sector, then it is going to affect. Otherwise, this is reasonably good estimation, I think.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Keshav Garg from Counter-Cyclical PMS. Please go ahead.
So firstly, I want to understand in your investor presentation on page number 6, the total value of goods traded through MSTC ecosystem has reduced from by 18.5% year on year. So what is the reason for this?
So you're comparing Q1 and Q of last year and Q1 of this year, right? This
right.
is mainly, the coal and iron ore that we were selling last year. As I said, the iron ore prices have fallen quite significantly in comparison to Q1 of last year, almost by around 20%. And coal, it doesn't actually matter as to what is the volume, and because we charge on event basis. So there also, based on the policy of the government, whether it has to go to a particular sector, the volume that is offered for sale on open market, that is also from time to time that changes. So because of that, you can see, but mainly I think the contributory factor is the iron ore.
Sure. And madam, we have around 1,600 crore of cash with us, and net cash is around 1,475 crore, which is 55% of our market capitalization. And still we aren't doing any share buyback, even though the government has repeatedly directed PSUs to go for share buyback. But I don't know why we are very comfortable sitting on cash, which is hardly giving shareholders any return, inflation adjusted. So please consider a share buyback.
Sir, your suggestion well taken. So from where this 1,600 crores came, I do not know. So this quarter we have not published any balance sheet and all these things. So of course we will review the situation on 30th September. If as part actually the buyback norms are governed by the DIPAM. DIPAM is clearly stated at which position this buyback will occur. So of course your suggestions are very prime importance to us. We will look into that and we will discuss internally on that particular suggestion. Of course, after reviewing the 30th September situation, see how much cash is with us only. Okay, rightly, your suggestion is taken at a very positive note from our side. Right.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Raghav Agarwal from Credent Family Office. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. So I basically want to understand your end-of-life vehicle business model. So I heard you say that the private vehicles listing on your portal would be free. So is there a difference between MSTC portal and your subsidiary with Mahindra for the scrapping center?
Yeah, actually what we are talking about here is MSTC has been mandated to auction all the end-of-life vehicles of the Government of India, and advisory has been given to the state governments for channelizing all their ELVs through our portal. Now, as far as private sector is concerned, there is no such mandate, and obviously a large chunk of ELVs are with the private sector and private individuals. For private individuals, we are just charging some very nominal, a few hundred rupees as listing fee, because we are just giving them a facility of access to all the registered RVSs and the RVSFs are supposed to actually bargain with them and then take the vehicle. So there's no actually role of MSTC. We are just providing a platform for ease of doing business with the RVSFs. Now, MMRPL is one of the RVSFs. They are one of the bidders who take vehicles from our own portal. They also compete with other RVSFs. They do the bidding. They once they become H1, they take the vehicles and then they do the scrapping. So here, as MSTC, we are offering e-commerce services for sale of ELVs, and our JV company is doing the scrapping business along with 30 more RVSFs in the country as on date. So they are facing severe competition, and through competition they are getting the vehicles and they are dismantling and producing the raw material for the secondary street sector.
Can you tell us something about your market share right now in the RVSF segment through your JV? I mean, are you the market leaders, or are there many more competitors? And any timeline of how much scrapping we are going to do through the RVSF in the coming year?
See, we definitely had the first mover advantage, and as on date also the maximum number of the channel, like the vehicles that are going through our portal is going to our JV company, but it depends on the location. See, if in a particular location there are large number of vehicles, then obviously it is going to be distributed amongst various RVSFs, like the case of NCR. There are about 3 or 4 full-fledged RVSFs, and some of the RVSFs have invested heavily, including a shredder and everything. So obviously, the volumes get distributed between multiple RVSFs. Where we are the only RVSF, obviously all the vehicles that are scrapped in that area goes to our facility only. So it depends on the location, but as far as the market share, if you say, nobody has done this analysis, but we can safely say that we are getting the maximum number of vehicles, and we are having the presence in largest number of centers.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Manvardhan Bed from Laurel Advisory. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I just wanted to know the average age of employees that we presently have.
It is as on date about 37 to 38. I don't have the numbers ready from the past data and memory. I'm actually recalling and telling you this. And we are in the process of some more recruitment at the entry level. So average age is likely to go down further.
Okay. And in terms of recruitment, where are we doing our recruitments from? In terms of, especially in terms of engineers, etc. What kind of institutes do we recruit from?
Our recruitment at the executive entry level is through a pan-India competitive examination and a group discussion. And we have already advertised for various streams. We need people in the tech field, that is the systems department, then the HR, the finance, the operations, MBA, marketing. So from all kinds of fields, we are doing the recruitment. All these details are available in our company website as well as the public domain also. Our advertisements and all.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Yash Dantewadia from Dante Equity. Please go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am. Hi. Ma'am, what percentage of your revenue is coming from private players as of today in your e-commerce business?
Actually, the private player business has started very recently. You are aware probably that only the last 4-5 years we have done some this thing. So we've not done any estimation like that, but I think we can take it as about 10%.
Yeah, and also in your previous...
I don't have any data to support this. I'm just making some mental calculation and I'm telling you this.
Understood. Ma'am, in your previous Concall, you gave a 15 lakh figure. That 15 lakh cars are to be e-auctioned, right? Scrapped basically. So, ma'am, since the government has mandated for these vehicles to go through you, through MSTC, so these 15 lakh vehicles, what would be the timeline for this, and what is the ballpark transaction value for these 15 lakh vehicles, and the number of years that you think you will take to process this transaction?
One second, your voice is not coming very clearly. Can you just repeat the question?
Yeah, I'm repeating it, ma'am. Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah, in your previous phone call, you gave a 15 lakh figure, right? That 15 lakh government vehicles that will be scrapped. Since the government is mandated that this scrappage has to go through MSTC, can you give us ballpark transaction values for these 15 lakh vehicles, and also the number of years it will take you to process this 15 lakh figure? Because right now you're at a very low run rate. You're doing, I think, 8,000 vehicles or 10,000 vehicles, right? Is what you said. So this 15 lakh vehicle, how real is it, ma'am? Like, how much time do you think it's going to happen, and if it happens? Can you give us a brief understanding?
I replied in the earlier query also that, MSTC has been mandated to auction only the government vehicles. Okay. And advisory has been sent to state governments for framing policies so that the ELVs can be channelized through our portal. Now, many of the states are still making those policies. It's still in a very nascent stage. Now, the 3 lakh vehicles or 2.5 lakh vehicles, whatever figures you are quoting, is not just the government vehicles. It involves the other vehicles also. Now, for the government to scrap their vehicles, they need to have a replacement for which a budget is required. So those things have to be in place for these vehicles to come to us for scrapping. So this is going to take some time. So obviously it will be in thousands as of date. And going forward, once, the older vehicles get replaced in a phased manner by various government departments, all these vehicles will be coming for the scrapping. So budget is a very major criteria for acquiring new vehicles. Once that is done, all these vehicles, you can see the numbers going up.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Harshit Jain from RAH Investment. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Actually, I want some more clarity on stand chart dispute. So I just wanted to know that whether we'll be receiving 90 crores which were paid to them, or we need to pay 222 crores to them.
No. So let me clarify two things. First, the 222 crore order has been set aside by the DRAT, Debt Recovery Appellate Tribunal, and they have also ordered for the refund of 90 crore. As and when this requires certain process, as and when the amount is credited to our account, we will let you know clearly. So it is for sure as of now that refund order has already been given by DRAT, and because of that order in our favor. So no 222 crore payment right now. Rather, the 90 crore deposit will be refunded to us. In addition to that, the recovery proceedings has also been dropped, and we are waiting for that written order also.
Okay, so after this is done, our books will be clear, no long-term borrowings, and our liability will reduce by 142 crores?
But this is, of course, subject to certain regulations and regulatory authority. Right now, I cannot comment on this particular aspect. Let us examine the orders. Our legal person will examine the orders and that things, and accordingly, whatever is required as per the law, it will be done.
Certainly. Thank you. And my last question would be regarding, I just want to have some more clarity that how easy it is for us to change from event basis to percentage basis, because we are doing big volumes lately. So if we can change from event to percentage basis, this will have a massive impact on our financials and we can grow in big numbers. So how easy it is for us?
No, it is not at all easy. In fact, wherever we have agreed on event basis, the numbers actually is not of big material to us, because here we are talking of, say, blocks, coal block. If it is going to be 1 lakh crore kind of a coal block, and I cannot be asking for a percentage out of it, because the process for a smaller coal block and a bigger coal block that is very sought after, the process remains the same. So nobody is going to pay me on the basis of percentage for such events. So it is almost not possible to switch from event basis to percentage basis, at least in such auctions.
Thank you.
So wherever it is possible, we are already on percentage basis.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for today. I would now like to hand the conference back to the management for closing comments.
So today we had a really good brainstorming session, and we have noted down a lot of suggestions that have come from the investors. Thank you for taking so much keen interest in our business and the financials, and your suggestions are always welcome. Thank you once again.
Thank you. On behalf of Equirus Securities, we conclude today's conference. Thank you for joining. You may now disconnect your line.